everybody, and welcome to another episode of Too Weird Didn't Watch, the show where we make fun of movies that we have not seen based on nothing but their weird descriptions.
I'm Brantley.
And I'm Albert, and today we're kicking things off with The Art of War.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. There's a third person in the room here, and they have promised to be quiet, and they have done well so far. But so the waving, like, this is what we talk about when we mention, like, going straight up to the line and, like, leaning over. That's still distracting. I need you to be silent and not know that you're there. The less that I know that you're there, the better. Also, stop touching the table. Today we're kicking things off with The Art of War.
Sun Tzu.
Yes, that classic treatise on how to lead an army and beat people up that middle managers in, like, office buildings have to read for some reason. Like, I've read it, Brantley, and, I mean, it's not completely worthless. Like, there's some sort of higher level, like, psychological manipulation of your enemy and outmaneuvering and stuff that you could project maybe into the business world, but then he gets into, like, if your enemy is on rough terrain and you're on easy terrain and you have lots of food, and you're just like, I don't see how this applies
market
to
versus
HP.
Rocky market. I like it.
No.
We will force this metaphor home as hard as possible. Like, whenever I make an arbitrary comparison, I just fight it.
So you know that they had to make a movie of this thing, and it's gonna have, what is his name? Wesley Snipes. I almost forgot the guy's name who's in it. This is a Wesley Snipes action flick, and here we go.
Interesting casting of Sun Tzu, but alright.
The plot of The Art of War revolves around the activities of covert United Nations operative Neil Shaw, who is sent on James Bond-style missions in exotic locales by his boss, Eleanor Hooks, who acts under the guidance of the peace-mongering UN Security General Douglas Thomas. Peacemonger.
Secretary General, sir.
Oh, did I not say Secretary
Security General?
Oh, my bad. I was... That's not the weirdest thing that somebody could say. Security General.
Sounds like it's someone who's the chief of security, but it's like really big on having a good title. I am the Security General, sir. He's the chief. He's my second in command.
There's only two of you, and I just hired you to watch this warehouse.
I don't care. Very seriously, sir.
I don't care who's the colonel or the general or whatever. Just stop them from stealing my ramen pallets.
Just parades around in full military dress the whole time. Yeah. In front of the building, marching back and forth. Hut, 2, 3, 4, hut.
Still more effective than the actual United Nations. One of the things that was interesting, as I was researching this particular episode, was that they mentioned that this is like the first United Nations action movie. Like, in all the other action movies, it's either like a US soldier, or like if you're in China, they'll have like Chinese army guys, or maybe it's just a US citizen. But for this guy to actually be a UN operative is kind of a weird thing.
That is odd. Also,
the fact that, like, he's everything about the United Nations is supposed to technically be about keeping peace, and then you've got Donald Sutherland, Douglas Thomas, who is a peacemonger, and you know that there's not going to be a heck of a lot of peace in this movie.
Peacemonger. Just love that term.
It's a much less exciting villain than Warmonger for Iron Man to fight. Have you thought about not fighting Iron Man? No.
Here to stop you.
Think about it. I can't actually do anything to stop you from fighting.
There's a VG Cats, like, alternate universe comic that's, like, reverses how video games played out. So there's a classic video game called Civil Conflict.
Okay.
Civil Combat, which is a parody of Mortal Kombat. And it's like, get over here. We'll solve our problems with equitable conversation.
That is essentially the premise of Squirrel Girl, I will say.
Basically, yes.
She still punches people, but like she tries to talk to them first. She's the best kind of
pacifist.
In his latest mission, this is the Wesley Snipes character.
Yes.
He finds himself...
Sun Tzu.
Yes. He's undercover as Neil Shaw,
Yes.
but actually he's the immortal Sun Tzu, a vampire from ancient China, who is in blackface now for some reason. Problematic.
Still a daywalker.
In his latest mission, he finds himself caught in a web of intrigue, preceding a momentous UN-brokered trade agreement between China and the West.
Everyone west of China. Just westward across the globe, everyone there.
All the way up to, like, the other border.
Yes.
But
Anyone north or directly south of China? Nah, not dealing with those guys.
No.
That whole chunk of Russia? Nope.
Bringing many decades of isolationist foreign policy to an end and opening China's billion-strong population to the world market.
What crazy fantasy world is this?
This happens in, like, 2001. Like, we already had this. Richard Nixon already went over there and opened all that up, for the most part.
This may have been made before that. When was this made?
It has Wesley Snipes in it.
He's been around for a while.
He has not been around longer than before Richard Nixon was president as an actor. Okay? This is contemporary. This is like 2001-ish. I don't have, like, the date written down here, but it's, like, early 2000s. We are not, like, way far back in the past. Ambassador Wu and businessman David Shan have been working hard on behalf of the Chinese government to represent their country's interests in the deal.
Okay.
However, during a lush banquet held in New York, Wu is shot dead mid-speech, and his son turns out to be Black Panther. Oh, I'm sorry, wait, wrong movie. Which turns Shaw's world completely upside down. Actually, he probably wouldn't be the Black Panther. It'd probably be a different color. I'm just gonna
Marvel has
lightly tiptoe around that one.
Sorry, DC has the Red Lion, which is exactly Black Panther.
Oh, is he?
Only
Okay.
a different costume and color.
I was just going to change the color, and I thought that might not be cool with some people. It wasn't going to go red, though, Brantley. Suspected by FBI investigator Capella, of the Acapellas, of being the gunman, Shaw is forced underground on a long and winding search for the real assassin.
The fugitive?
I guess? I also don't get, like, why do they suspect him? I mean, I guess there's a good reason in the movie, but it just seems like, it was you, wasn't it? You're the only UN action hero that we've possibly ever found. And he's like, I must go fight for the real assassin.
He was the first.
It's also kind of the plot of Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Along for the ride is UN translator Julia, whose friend was killed as an innocent bystander during the fray. I mean, the people...
Why is she along for
Well, no, I was going to say everybody was innocent. It seems like the dude who's trying to make the peace treaty was also innocent of crimes. The fact that this person wasn't actually doing anything doesn't make them, like, more sympathetic. It's like, I wasn't even supposed to be here. Well, you know, the guy who was supposed to be here was trying to bring about world peace. So maybe we should mourn him first.
I mean, Wesley Snipes trying to get shot.
No, I'm not saying Wesley Snipes.
I don't know why
her friend was killed.
Right.
So she's like, I must avenge my friend who didn't do anything. And also, I guess, this other guy who was trying to bring about world peace.
Maybe that was her friend?
No, that's what I'm saying. She was an innocent bystander. It's a different person.
But she's a translator.
Yes.
And
no,
maybe she was
her friend wasn't a translator, though.
No, but the girl is a translator. Mm-hmm. Maybe she was translating for the guy and he was her friend. Or maybe her friend was in a security detail.
This is one of the longer descriptions that we've had, and yet the more
There's not a lot going on here.
Answers that I have are not forthcoming. Unfortunately,
what I'm getting from this is excuse. Wesley Snipes chased by Asian guys with guns. Excuse, explosion.
Yeah, well, there's it's a
summarized the
for
movie
people to have fight scenes.
Also, Sun Tzu's book title because artsy.
Yeah, they haven't mentioned that at all. Like
it probably comes up.
I'm sure it does.
Wesley Snipes probably just quotes it throughout the whole movie. Like, in the words of Sun Tzu, blah, blah, blah.
If you are on the high ground, Anakin, you have to give up or something. I don't know.
If you have the high ground, Obi-Wan Kenobi will not be able to cut off your legs. Wait. I got the book wrong. I'm sorry. Even though they can jump like 20 feet in the air, what's up with that?
Unfortunately,
unsubtle metaphors about morality.
I mean, that's what movies are.
I know.
Like, that's not oh my goodness, Star Wars, an unsubtle metaphor about reality? That's every movie. I mean, not either it's about, like, morality gone awry, or, like, the good guys win because they're good.
The first Star Wars.
Unfortunately, as the unlikely pair delves further into the conspiracy aimed at derailing the trade agreement, which, thanks for bringing back around that this is just about, like, some stupid trade agreement.
It is Star Wars Episode 1.
Have you thought about all the jobs that will be lost if this doesn't go down?
Also, the whole war that we might have, but mostly the jobs.
Well, that's the thing, though. Like, we're in a trade war right now. Like, we are living out the negative outcome of this movie in the present day, and it's not as...
Good going, Wesley Snipes. Way to drop the ball.
Anyway, as they do this, they uncover that it runs deep both within the Chinese underworld and the administration of the United Nations.
So do they just not want peace with China, and they're just like, let's fake it and then shoot this dude?
Maybe. There's always somebody who's, like, making money illegitimately who wants the illegitimacy to stay because they have a monopoly, basically, because of the illegitimacy.
Fair enough.
So maybe that, but again, I think it's just a lot of excuses to have fight scenes.
Yeah.
Up next...
Sounds more like a Steven Seagal movie than a Wesley Snipes movie.
Well, up next we have The Art of War 2. Betrayal.
He was betrayed in the last movie.
No, this is the real betrayal.
Oh, so this is exactly the same movie then.
Agent Nigel
Schnaw.
Agent Nigel Schnaw, see? Agent Nigel Shaw comes out of, and they have this in quotes, retirement. I guess he was, like, beating up, like, thugs and stuff in his spare time because he couldn't let it go.
He retired to join his former trainer, Whistler, to hunt vampires in Portugal. Or no, Prague.
He comes out of retirement to avenge the murder of his former mentor.
Whistler!
Yeah, they don't pull away from the comparisons to Blade, do they? Blade 2's on Netflix now. I gotta check that out, by the way.
Great movie. Del Toro, man.
Yeah, I know. I've only seen one. Along the way, he allows himself to do some work for a friend. Wait, what? You could just say he does some work for a friend. Why does he have to allow himself to do it?
Because he's got this whole mission, and he's like, I also want to keep up my friendships, because those are important.
I guess that is fair. He's like, I am so focused on avenging the murder of my former mentor. And
but
he's
it's
like,
good to help your friends.
Could you help me out of my taco shack, too? It's like, fine.
Just so you know, this whole time he's being a secret agent, picture him in full Blade get up with the sword and everything.
I don't see any reason not to do that.
Because it's fun.
I don't think that's probably far from accurate. Like, he probably just in, like, a black suit instead of, like, the leather, but other than that, basically, yes. And maybe not a sword some of the time. He allows himself to do some work for a friend. An actor turning candidate for the Senate.
What? An actor becoming a politician? Psh.
That can't possibly go badly.
No. Any of the times that's ever possibly happened, maybe.
He ends up trying to protect current Senator Carlson from possible assassination. Well, he's not helping his friend that much, is he?
He can still help his friend run or something, but he's
like
still just like, let's not get this poor guy die. He's just going up to doors and knocking on them.
I'm here to campaign against the stupid policies of Senator Carlson. Also, you're under arrest for murder. Punch. Shaw does his digging and finds a round robin of political corruption and dead bodies keep piling up. A romance starts brewing when Shaw's mentor's daughter, Melina, starts sticking to him like glue.
Blade 3.
I haven't seen that one either.
Don't.
Okay, I won't. The implication that she's just, like, won't leave him alone, that's the character that nobody ever likes in a movie. The character is just like, I want to hang out, I want to hang out, I want to hang out, and you can't get away from them, and they don't ever shut up. Like,
the only one of those I've ever seen done well is Jade from Jackie Chan Adventures, just because she eventually became overpowered.
Okay.
Like, he would, like, leave her with a secret agent, go on the mission, and she would just be there ahead of him and just give him a heart attack by saying, hi, Jackie.
Oh, so the implication was that she would, like, her powers
She was just a normal girl, but she would just like pop up there and hijack, and he would have a heart attack, basically.
Okay.
Just, how do you do that? And then at one point, one of the villains starts hanging out with her, or starts hanging out with them because he needs their help. And she does that, and he goes, that's why she's always here. Here, I thought you were just horribly irresponsible, Jackie.
Next up, we have The Art of War 3. Retribution.
He already had the revenge of the last movie. He was betrayed in the first one. Then in Betrayal, he had revenge. Now there's Retribution.
They, you know what? I'll make my commentary as we get into this.
All right.
When international diplomacy comes up short, extreme measures must be taken.
Are we still dealing with that UN trade deal?
Yeah. It's a different jobs package. Now he's trying to get some tax reforms passed, you know?
Oh.
It's really important. It's about...
He's still working for his friend, the senator.
I mean, I laugh, you laugh a little bit, but I mean, there is some stuff like, you know, goals for like not having famines and people not starving to death. And we've actually made some really good strides. Maybe not directly 100% because of the UN, but the UN sort of coordinates a lot of that stuff.
Yes.
There's a lot fewer people starving to death today than there used to be, which is cool.
I give it 20 years. I'm sure we'll break it again.
But it doesn't make for the plot of an action movie super well. Like, the villain is always trying to blow up a bunch of people. It's never like, I'm just going to stop you from having crops that will grow in extremely arid soil. Then you'll have undernourished children, and in the future, millions of people will die. Even though that's, like, arguably as horrible, if not more horrible, than, like, I'm going to shoot your friend or whatever.
That's more.
You can't... yes, I think it's more... But you can't make a movie about that because it doesn't have that visceral punch.
The million is a statistic, yes.
Yes, especially a million in the future.
Yes.
Because they're...
millions of people that may or may not be born yet.
But it is...
Because of me.
It's something that you should think about in real life. Anyway, in the newest installment of The Art of War, Agent Neil Shaw, played by naughty by nature sensation Treach.
I'm assuming that's a band?
I also have no idea. We are not cool enough to know who Treach is, but you know who he's not. He's not Wesley Snipes.
He is not.
Apparently, at this point in the saga of the making of the Art of War films, Wesley Snipes' tax evasion problems had caught up with him, and he was no longer eligible to be
that, or maybe he tried
Agent
the same
Shaw.
crap with this director he did for the director of Blade 3, and the guy was just like, nope, go home.
Maybe? I thought both were possible. The thing is, I don't think, especially now, Wesley Snipes is not above anything, so I would assume, now that he's back out, he's probably down for, like, the Art of War 4.
He's down for Blade 4.
Yes. Well, Blade 4, that probably what people have heard of. These didn't even make it to theaters. Like, the first one, I think, was in theaters, and the rest of them were like, what about that direct-to-DVD action audience, guys? Treach is... okay, no. Agent Neil Shaw. Agent Neil Shaw is on a covert mission to stop North Korean terrorists from obtaining a nuclear bomb. Now see, this is the plot of an action movie. It's not about treaties. It's not about the future. It's about saving somebody right now.
To be fair, the last two were at least, while not super interesting, unique because of that. Now this is just like throw a dartboard at 80s action movies plots.
Or, you know, last year's Twitter panic about what might actually happen. I mean, they did obtain a nuclear bomb.
Yes.
Apparently, so mission failed.
Good job, not Wesley Snipes.
Treach,
way to drop the ball.
You failed us.
You had one job. Actually, you had several jobs, but this is the only one that counted.
But when the deal turns deadly... I don't know that there was any point when the deal wasn't deadly, because they were trying to obtain a nuclear bomb. But, okay.
I'm picturing like the most civil terrorist Wilson. Good day, sir. I'm here to purchase the nuclear warhead. Here's a tip of $2 million.
Psych! I don't have a nuclear warhead! And they just mow him down. Yeah.
Like, oh, well, you have offended us. Men, open fire.
Is this your North
like
Korean
really
accent?
British. I don't know what was going on there. But that guy was after a nuclear bomb, apparently.
Shaw is drawn into the crossfire to save a beautiful facilitator. Playboy model Sung Hee Lee. And ends up framed for murder! Wow, they really just recycling the first movie with a nuclear bomb, huh? Wow.
It's like they got the complaints about how it wasn't an action enough. It's like, let's do the first one only add in a generic action movie plot.
Yeah. Now a wanted...
Nobody saw the first one. Who will care?
That's fair. But the people who are gonna watch Art of War 3 probably saw the first one.
It was probably in a 3-pack with the first two, let's be honest.
Now a wanted man with his newbie partner and the mysterious facilitator by his side, because in the first one it was a translator and they couldn't do that again, so they had to invent a facilitator as a plot point.
That's the go-between.
What does that mean? Everybody's a facilitator.
The facilitator and these kind of deals, like a weapons deal, is the neutral party who is to make sure everybody, like, you bring the weapons, you bring the money, nobody shoots each other, we all go home with money and happy.
Well, she should have been the first one to die because she failed. It didn't work.
Well, yes, but she's pretty.
Oh,
and the rest of them were probably dudes.
Yeah, okay.
Or in suits and not weirdly scantily clad.
Shaw must rely on his kick-butt martial arts skills and bad-butt warrior code. I've censored that for you guys since my son is in the room. To fight through Korea's mean streets and find the terrorists before they detonate the bomb at a United Nations peace summit. I mean, to be fair, it wouldn't make a difference if they did because it's the United Nations. And they don't ever do anything. Either the US or Russia would veto the bill and nothing would happen. I know how this works.
Maybe we should get rid of those two countries.
Or just kick them off the Security Council. Except then there wouldn't be United Nations because they'd be like, we're taking our ball and going home. And they're the ones with all the nukes. The final sentence. This is my favorite thing about this whole episode, Brantley. Something somebody actually wrote about the Art of War 3 Retribution. In summation, this is war. And there is an art to it.
Is it like in its blue period? Is it abstract?
You say that, and it's kind of funny, but then if you think about it, like, art really has gone through some... I mean, war has gone... Wow. War has really gone through some transformations.
Yes.
You know, like...
The invention of, like, high-velocity projectiles kind of changed things a lot.
Well, also the invention of guerrilla warfare. Like, the battles that are being fought today are almost never fought out in the open. Between major powers, right? Like, it's either a proxy war, where, like, the US is backing a certain group in Syria, and then the Russians are backing a different group in Syria, and... like, they are very, very careful not to be shooting each other directly. Or it's like, you know, some guys who are just in civilian clothes planting a bomb and running away and shooting at some people. Like, large-scale war is almost impossible now because of nuclear weapons. It's either impossible or, like, it costs so much that it's just not worth it for anybody.
There was my history teacher in college was talking about the American Civil War. And about the English getting angry because they were doing the whole, like, line up and fire, and then Americans like, now we're going to hide in the trees and shoot you when you're close.
Right?
It's like, that's not how men wage war. It's like, yeah, that's how we don't die, though.
That's not the Civil War, though.
It's the Revolution.
I guess it was kind of a civil war at the time, though.
It was, yeah.
It was a war for independence.
They still consider themselves British.
Yep. Okay. I
misspoke, but yes. I can defend my poorly worded stance. I could be president.
Well, that is going to do it for this week, guys. Thank you so much for listening to our thoughts on these very weird descriptions of the Art of War Trilogy. As far as I know, there's only 4 so far. Keep your eyes open for a 4th one, though. Or maybe there's only 3 so far.
I was going to say.
My brain is ahead of my words.
Ah.
We'll see you guys next time. Take care.
All right, bye.
Bye. He talked.